Hey, Joe. The YouTube chat seems to have declared that you are one of my top fans. I guess that's just how it goes. All right. So, new Pip-Boy today. Let's dig right into it. I hope this isn't secretly something else than what I ordered. Well, it says Pip-Boy. That says Pip-Boy. So at the top we got the Pip-Boy user manual. Oops, some stickers or something fell out. Oh, what is this? Caution, high volume. Let me get my close-up camera online. So we'll start off with a high volume warning. Please take care when using headphones. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Interesting. Is this a case or? It's a very stiff styrofoam. This is the wand company on the bottom. They're the ones that made this replica. Put that over there. Alright, so let's check out the user manual first. Alright, user manual. All kinds of useful information. We'll get a nice clear shot of all that text. And this setup diagram, different than the previous Pip-Boy. And on the back, looks like it's warnings in other languages. Yeah, plastic's nice and crisp. All right. I'm just going to look at this for a few minutes and see. This is not a toy. Die-cast metal and ABS replica. Blah, 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 blah. Displaying, charging, installing, powering, controlling. Oh, it's got Fallout 3 and a New Vegas mode. Alright, well. So let's open the box. Oh. There might be some kind of latch here. Oh. Well, looks the doodle. Nice little microfiber cloth. Register your Pip-Boy and check for updates. Will do. Alright, let's see what we got here. This is certainly bigger than the previous replica they made that was based on the TV show. This one has more plastic feel in some areas. This feels nice and metal. I just want to know where they source their screens for these. Finding 4x3 screens, modern 4x3 screens, is very difficult. Got some kind of piece here. Assume this an audio. Oh, I think this is an antenna. It has a plug on one end and the other end just terminates like that. So I presume this is some kind of antenna. I'm not sure why. I know it has an FM radio like the previous one did, but that did not require an external antenna. Anything else in here? We've got something. Some screws. Okay. It says showing to install it on the bottom of the unit. So we'll go and do that. Alright. Appears to be everything in the box. It's very interesting. My other Pip-Boy replica also came with a box, but it was a box, not some kind of foam thing. Alright. So the place where it was saying to install this piece, it seemed like it was here. There's a little latch here. Oh yeah, a little latch. And there it opens. So I wonder, okay, it looks like this attaches. It matches the shape. Okay. This looks like it lips around. I think this is a spacer for if you have a larger arm. I guess I'll have to see if it fits me as is. I'm catching a little bit of skin over here. Come on. There. Need that. It's a little far down on my wrist, but it fits. Alright. Well, maybe I will need that expander. We'll find out. Let's open her up. Have a look inside. Nice soft foam. It was pretty comfortable when I put it on just now. It just pinched my skin a little bit at the edges, but just pulled my skin in and that worked okay. So that was a nice snug fit, but it was like right at my wrist. So I think if I want it further up my arm, I'm going to need to install this extender onto there. So it came with this little stand. Seems like that matches up with that. Okay, just like that. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, too many gains on my arm. That's what's going on. Alright, well, let's see. Let's turn it on. Let's leave that on. And I'll angle this up to look right at it. I believe the manual said something about how to turn it on. Re-angle. I need a more flexible USB cable. This one likes to just go where it wants. There we go. Oh no, you can see me. Get the most. There's no glare-free angle here. Alright, charging. Says there's a USB port on the back. Sure is, right there. And I still have the USB cable from my soldering iron plugged in, so let's go and plug that in so it can get some juice. Front slots, charging. Alright, it says this is a headphone socket. It says this is a brushed metal hinge. And this is an LED flashlight. That's actually kind of cool. The previous Pip-Boy replica also had a flashlight mode, but it was literally just made the screen bright green. So kind of like how it actually is in the game. Frankly, having an actual proper flashlight, it's something Pip-Boys have needed for a long time in the games. Alright, powered up and down on power button 5. Alright. Oh, interesting. Here, let's back this up a bit so we get a wider view. Oh. There's supposed to be something here. Let me see if it's in the box. Ah, there it is. A hex screw came with this, and it slides. Gosh, it's dark in there. There we go. Slides into there for storage. Just a nice little Robco knob. Otherwise, I always like having tools built into stuff so it's easy to work with whatever it is. I'm glad you agree, Joe. Now let's just see if we can turn this sucker on. Let's go through the individual parts. 1, docking comb. 2, below screen slots. Oh, there's lights already. Look at that. You see that on my finger? They're emitting out of the bottom here. 2, 3. 3. What's number 3 on this? Wow. Terrible with the numbers. Oh, 3 is the USB charging slot. 4 is the cuff lock. 5 is the power button, which is right here. So take the screen off. Probably register it. I want that warranty. Minimize the glare. Alright, so to power it on, long press 3 seconds the power button. 5. Well, there we go. That screen does look nicer than the previous one. I like that. And it's got a battery indicator right there. So let's see what else we got here. So 5 was that. 6 item stat and data buttons. Are these actual buttons? They are. Look at that. As far as I know, this doesn't have any wireless functionality, so it's not much hope of rigging this up to be like live interacting with one of the games. I'll never say never, but not likely. Alright, it says here the screen is 320 by 480. Is that a 5 by 3? It's not quite a true 4x3, but this doesn't look like 4x3 actually. This looks a little wider than 4x3. And I'd have to measure it to tell if these are square pixels or not, but who cares? It's got the look it's supposed to have, which is the most important thing. Alright, so we got stats. So we got our person's statistics. We got the right things at the bottom, special skill perks, items, weapons, apparel, aid, data, settings, world map, quest. Now, settings is probably going to be the most functional part of things because that's where we actually set settings for this. So you see right here it says it's in Fallout 3 mode. We'll see if we can switch it up in a second. I'm going to go through all the buttons on here. So number 7 here, the page selector. So that's this. Okay, so world map, quests, notes, radio. And it looks like this is an absolute positions rotary encoder as opposed to, like this one's probably free spinning. So I presume if I change this all the way to the end and go to stats, then yeah, I'm already in the last tab automatically. Yeah, okay, great. 8 is the scroll wheel. So we should be... Alright, the wheel doesn't have any kind of clickiness to it. I say that, it's got like, it still has like a tactile bump as you roll through it. I don't think it actually correlates to having made a selection on the screen. Like here, I'm going over a bump right here and nothing's happening. So, seems like it's just a standard rotation amount for selection, and it's probably just some kind of physical rotary encoding. Alright, so it says click select. So, oh, look at that. Now I remember these titles, these are quests from Fallout 3. So, let's go to radio, see if we can. Alright, we got radio on. Seek up. Seek down. Alright, no thanks. We're good. We're good. Thanks a lot, guys. Alright, so the FM radio is working, though I'm noticing that it doesn't seem to have a built-in radio. I remember the previous one, you also had to load it up with music separately. I think it came with some public domain music on it, but the none of the licensed music was in the game. So probably similar with this. The previous one, there was an SD card, and this is all actually just, it's basically a web page. This is all just JavaScript to redo all this rendering, and I haven't looked into it in a while, but they put the stuff out there. It's perfectly possible for people to just take the actual code files and just recode it to do something else, and I never looked into whether or not anyone ever got around to doing that. But I would presume this also is going to have the same kind of modability. Now I know it's right. I want to get 3Dog on there and all that. So that was a vocal performance and it was licensed music. So that's the Wand company's not going to have the rights to do that. But I guarantee someone's going to prepare the right files to be able to load up 3Dog, Galaxy News Radio, get the shadow on here. Some of it, a shocking amount hasn't actually. Like I said with the previous one, they did some public domain stuff. There was always stations in Fallout that had just music like playing on violins and stuff, and it would be old-timey tunes that were in the public domain. But everything else, it's a mixed bag of some of it public domain and some of it not. And like, if you can't do it all, it's partly not worth doing. It's who knows where they're going with it. But like I said, the community is gonna rig this up. It's gonna make it work. In fact, we could probably look into that while we're working here. So let's see what kind of settings we got. We got the date and the time. All right, set date and time. What is the date and time? 2078. Oh, what's the oh man, I wish I knew what year is gonna have the same days as right now. I'll have to figure that out. I'm just going to leave that as is. I'll get my camera preview back up here. All right, time zone. We can at least set it to, what are we at, -5 right now? 4-digit year. Yeah. All right. Now we can set an alarm. That'd be kind of cool. Have this on your nightstand. Can we hear? Oh, you can use the radio. That's fun. Oh, that's horrifying.
Good morning, it's sunrise. It's a brand new day. Good morning, it's sunrise. It's a brand new day.
Yeah, that's what you want to wake up to. Water. All right. I mean, that sounds fun. I'll have to spare with that. All right. Sound. Sound effect volumes. Mute speaker when headphones are on. All right. Flashlight. Flashlight on. All right. It's off. On. I mean, it's a well-lit room, and it's still brightening things up a bit, so it's not bad. Oh, I just noticed there's the glow here kind of illuminates this little area down here. That's nice. All right. Morse code message. Oh, that's so cool. How do I? It's not a touchscreen, so how do I navigate? Well, not that. All right, so I figure out how to make it happen, but I'm guessing that you can make the LED light flash a message in Morse code. Well, it's certainly not working well. All right. Let's just get out of here and figure out how to do that later. All right, user. Now on the other one, this is where you could like enter your name. Oh, level, karma, reset inventory. Okay, okay. Ah, Pip-Boy mode. Fall. New Vegas mode. That's cool. I'll be honest, in New Vegas, I usually reset my Pip-Boy back to green. Demo mode. Let's have a look at demo mode. It switched the button on its own, so. We got the Capital Wasteland map. I mean, I think it looks right. It's been a while since I've seen it. It just switched itself to New Vegas. The demo mode has it out for you, Joe. It seems like there's largely not much difference between the Fallout 3 and the New Vegas modes. You might be using some of the alternative artwork that New Vegas used for the little vault boy, but I'd have to compare them side by side. Oh, NCR currency, that wasn't in Fallout 3. So the inventory stuff, there's different stuff in there for the New Vegas mode. This is definitely the New Vegas map, though. Oh, I just went through all the expansions, the DLC's maps. I must know what's going on the other one. Yeah, I know you're ride or die Fallout 3, Joe. I know it's been a while. Maybe you should try New Vegas again. They did a lot of patching before everyone got fired. All right, and I guess that's the end of the demo mode. Oh. And what is it? I think this is actual version information, like actual information about the Pip-Boy. I should try running the update, the wand.co/. You know, I'm gonna go get my other Pip-Boy too. We can update both of them. All right. Yeah, the new one's got a much bigger screen. I mean, you can see side by side. The newer one's quite a bit bigger than the previous one. Like I said, this one's modeled on the TV show, which they realized real fast that Pip-Boys, as they are in-game, are really big, especially the 1 and 2 ones. They were just impractically large for the actors to be lugging around, and yeah, even with them reducing the size, they apparently kept breaking them. Come on, I gotta have a USB-A on here somewhere. Yep, there it is on the opposite side. Alright, so they do their updates via the web browsers, which means you gotta use something Chromium based for that whole being able to access serial devices from the web browser thing. So we got ourselves an address, the wand.co/pip-boy. The wand, not the wad. I'm not going to a Doom mod site. Which Pip-Boy do you have? Both. Let's start with the silver one. All right. This one was kind of cool. It had a little plug that came out here, and that's where the USB port is. Connect to Pip-Boy. All right. It says upgrade release 2v28. Connected to Pip-Boy 2v25. All right. I'm going to hit upgrade. That's always concerning. A little bit of pressure down there. 2v25, installing new firmware. Please wait. It's kind of nice that the firmware upgrade process actually is pretty visually integrated with the style. Upgrade in progress. This was cool. It's mostly metal. The back is plastic, but the front's mostly metal. But I'm really digging the look of this one more. That might just be that this is, you know, the one from 3 in New Vegas, which arguably at this point is probably the most iconic one, or at least the most well-recognized one. So it's just like, I like it. I like it a lot. It does feel smaller than I think the one in the video game would really have been. Like, these buttons felt much larger in the game. But I think this is actually a good compromise between how big it probably would have been for real and being small enough to actually fit and be manageable on a human wrist. Where this one, I wouldn't say this goes too small, but it goes pretty small. But yeah, it brings its own design to it. It's kind of like, this would have been like the classic model, and this would have been like a modern update of some sort. So now I just have to wait. There's a progress bar over on the computer. Ooh, 9 minutes. That's going to take a hot second. Well, while that works on that, I should have updated this one first. So it makes me wonder about the insides of this, because I understand with the previous model, it was possible to take out the backing and then manually access the SD card on the inside that is used for the storage. I don't know what the case is with this one. Geez, 9 minutes. Oh, that's slow. Alright. Caring for your Pip-Boy. Only clean with a damp cloth. Scroll wheel. Thumb wheel. Flashlight. Alright. Antenna extension. Put it into the headphone jack to increase reception. So, okay, the headphone jack is where that plugs in. That's actually pretty normal for a lot of portable radios. The headphones that you'll wear with them act as the actual antenna. It's pretty cool use of technology, really. Only used between 10 and 40 degrees Celsius. I wonder if these guys are Canadian. This product includes a rechargeable lithium polymer battery. Misusing or mishandling lithium batteries is bad. Free or found in Vegas. Yeah, it says to fit the space around if it's too tight on your arm, so that's something we can do while we're waiting for this update to finish. Alright. I like the finish on this. It's all plastic, but I think it feels pretty good. Where did I put the little plastic piece? This way. Interesting. All right, wants me to remove this existing screw. Oh, which is using the hex wrench that we came with. All right. To find somewhere very safe to put that piece. All right. I can get it in there. It's giving me trouble fitting it. This part here doesn't want to fit. There we go. Just a little bit more elbow grease, I guess. Right. And these other screws. All right, and one from the top. Oh, this is a screw from a camera tripod that I was fixing. Not a screwdriver. I need this. It's going in pretty easy. Not feeling a lot of resistance, which I guess is good. I don't know. Oh, it's because it wasn't latching onto anything yet. All right. I think I need to get this a little more cleanly flush. There we go. I think that'll do it. Yeah, I think I feel like catching. There we go. Still not a ton of resistance, but I can actually feel some. There we go. Now it's resisting. Stop resisting. Oh, still upgrading. Right. Unplug this power cord. Then this needs to go. Like this needs. There we go. I know with the previous model, between me and my brother, there was a lot of difficulty with the variances of arm thicknesses. It was always a tight fit on me, but fit him and my wife very nicely. So being able to have this here be a little bit bigger, hopefully will be very desirable. All right. It does leave us with a little channel down here that's not padded, but hopefully that'll be great. All right, I'm just going to try. Pop it on. See how it goes. Nope. No pinching, but it's very loose down by my wrist. So I can have it much further up my wrist now. Unfortunately, like this is kind of like what feels natural for holding, and I gotta twist it a lot more to get it here. So I'm gonna see if I can twist that around a bit. Not perfect, but I feel like I can get it there. Try just, you know, actually, like holding in front of the camera. Holding in front of the camera is more difficult. Like I wants to be a bit more sideways, but if I'm just using it myself, it is a much more of a vertical orientation. Here I'm not showing anything, but still, there it is. Fits. Wrist can actually move. It wants to wiggle down. And that's going to be the problem with any kind of compression fitting thing on any arm. I don't think I've ever seen anything properly hold its place on an arm that wasn't attached to the shoulder in some way. But still, I've got the option now. That's nice. All right, that's good. Oh, interesting. With the spacer in here, this top part doesn't close completely, which is a bit of a shame aesthetically, but still better I can fit you. The power plug back in. No, pretty sharp. His downsides. The spinning rotor encoder on here was very pleasurable. The click, click, click of this knob is a very satisfying experience. Plus, they were labeled. The buttons are faster, though. I don't know. Neither one's really better than the other. They're just very different. But I think I'm pretty sure I prefer this one more. Part of it is I think that I really like how clean it is. And this can be clean. They pre-wear it. But you can wipe it off if you want to get it nice and shiny clean. But the flat metal look is a little duller than like this kind of full metal look. Well, right here it's metal. They're imitating with plastic in the back, but I like how this looks. How are we doing here? 0 progress on here. So I presume that it it's going to be one of those things where it says no progress until suddenly there's progress, and it's basically done. I want you to turn off. Can you turn it back on? Get a little bit of flickery light. Oh, that's cool. It the lights faded in as I held the button until it completely turned on. That's pretty cool. So I really like how much bigger the screen is. This screen feels sharper, but I think it's just because the pixels are smaller. I like how much bigger this is, and there's a little almost like CRT looking blur to it, and I think that's just because of the size of the pixels on the screen. It's super appropriate. Should look at it. Can you edit them? General. Quests completed. All right, well, what if we went to data? Let's do a big spin. Just goes right to the end. It doesn't animate through them. So there must be a delay, like it waits after it sees an electrical change from this. It must wait before the software responds, which is fine. No problem with that. Let's try cranking my lever and see what happens. What's the level cap? 30. I see, yeah, that's Fallout 3. Karma. Evil karma. Reset inventory. Yes. So what can you do with the items? Right. So we got the different weapons. Got the alien blaster. We'll click that. Alright. Apparels. We'll wear some Brotherhood power armor. We got aid. If I the little number went down, I'm gonna click the attacks. Brown steak, yum. Ate it up. Ice cold Nuka-Cola. That just makes the beep noise. That's a little disappointing because when you drink the sodas in the game, it would make that soda drinking noise. Yeah, Joe, the update system is real basic. But at least they made it in a browser, so that way I can run it without having to use wine or anything on my laptop. I don't see... Well, let's check Misk, Joe. We gotta check for those ashtrays. It'd be so funny if they actually... There he is. I have 2 coffee mugs, Joe. Question answered. Now we know. No ashtray. Atomic Command. Okay, this might actually be something. Let's check this out. Yeah, I'd heard that they actually programmed one of the tape games. Question now is, how do you play it on here? Alright, I can move up and down. Moving this just changes the thing. Alright, there has to be some kind of left-right navigation on this, because they had a keyboard that was only going up and down as well. Static illuminated rad meter sub. Done move. It's fine. Whatever. Oh! I missed a button. Well, a knob. We have a lovely little knob right here. Look at that. So it's similarly bumpy. Okay, this one is bumpier in its rotation than this one is. This one's more satisfyingly bumpy. All right, so this must be where we get our left and right. This clicks in the left wheel. So let's give this a go. Get it to focus here. There we go. Yeah, I got the plane and the missile. It's a little weird, but it's not bad. It's perfectly playable. I don't know how in the hell you would play this if you had it on your arm, because I'm doing both of these with one hand would be very annoying. But how? I definitely couldn't flip my wrist up here. You basically have to take it off and hold it like this in order to play the game. Oh shoot, it blew into 3. Oh my gosh. Oh, my city. Oh, my city. Oh, my me. Alright. So with this level, you definitely want to have intercept the missiles higher up before they split up. That wasn't great. They're not going towards my landmarks. I'm not inclined to go for them. Wow, that was a terrible overshot. This is probably a good way to actually test the inputs on this. And so far, the movements feel pretty predictable. Oh, my Statue of Liberty. not feeling like the controls are screwing me up. Just the awkwardness of having two different inputs like this. I mean, this is how we used to game way back when. Two spinny controllers on a pad usual. Oh, come on. Oh, gosh. The end. High score. I mean, if it's using an SD card like the other one was, then I would presume it's going to store my high score. Alright. Oh, there I am. Alright. Well, good to know that they're being so realistic, Joe. Deathclaw hand, that's fun. John Wilkes Booth wanted poster. Can I view it? No. Reign of Grellock. Oh, it's Zork. Joe, it's Zork. I suppose just letting everyone read it's no fun. It says, you are standing in a wide plain. Foothills stretch to the north, where clouds gather around an ominous peak. A dirt path winds from a lonely chapel to the east, through the plains where you're standing, and south into a bustling town. Wispy mists gather over a marshland in the west, where a thin tower stands alone in the bog. Let's check my inventory. I have a rusty sword and a drinking flask. Your weapon, rusty but trusty. Drinking flask, a very small flask to carry water. Well, I'm going to go west. I am now in the swamp. Let's look around. You are standing on a narrow stone path in a dark marsh. Greasy bubbles float to the top of the bog waters on either side and pop lazily, spattering your leg with muck and slime. A short stone tower squats here. No door is visible, and the stones are smooth and polished. A balcony juts out midway up the tower's face. The heady smells of incense mix with the nauseating stench of the swamp. The stone path unfurls eastward, towards a broad plain beyond the marshes. A wizard is here, gesticulating wildly from his balcony. Pardon me. Talk to the wizard. The wizard beckons wildly at you from his balcony. You're here! You've arrived, he exclaims. After an awkward silence, he jabs an excited finger into a crystal ball, nearly knocking it into the bag. I've seen you, you see. You're the one to defeat Grellock. Woohoo! The little man hops onto the railing, spinning a pirouette. Now the time's come to play my part. Toss up the gem. The wizard's brow furrows. Got things a bit out of order, have I? Come back when you've got a powerful gemstone. Soon. I've never got to fulfill a prophecy before. Alright. So I gotta find a gem. Go east. So we're back at the plains. And we're still updating. Still updating. Trying to get the colors. Tap this screen to focus. Alright. I guess let's go south to the city. Town, look around. You're standing in the dusty market square of a quiet town. Many of the shops and homes lie abandoned, and the citizens that can be seen speak in hushed voices, casting furtive glances at the darkened skyline in the distant north. The ringing of an anvil breaks the silence regularly, where a mustachioed blacksmith bends over his work in a nearby tent. The blacksmith is here working, and a priest is here drinking. So let's speak with the blacksmith. Your eyes water from the smoke and smarmy heat inside the tent. The huge man swipes sweat from his bald head and looks up from his work. There's no shortage of work to be done with Grellark's scare, and everyone witness. Leave me to filling my orders, stranger. With that, the blacksmith dismisses you from his tent and douses a hot blade of water, hissing with steam. I'll talk to the priest. The priest notices your approach and looks up from his swilling. Grellark has come, and we are forsaken, he cries. He continues. As you recover from the stench of the priestly belch, you are told that the priest has fled from his nearby chapel. When Grellark arrived on the mountain, the dead in his cemetery began to rise, and his congregation scattered. If you could rid the place of the zombies, he tells you, I'll give you the key, and you can help yourself to the apothecary. Alright. Alright, go north. I'll look around again just so I can... Chapel to the east. Alright. Chapel. Look around. You stand at the end of a dirt path, facing a small chapel. The stucco walls are faded, many roof tiles are missing. The great oaken doors are locked. The congregation is nowhere to be found. The small cemetery of crooked headstones lies in the shadow of the cracked steeple. The dirt path winds westward through a great featureless plain. A zombie totters aimlessly nearby. There is an open grave nearby. I'm going to use... Well, I'm going to examine grave. There is a deep, empty grave in the cemetery. Several bloated rats floating in a foot of filthy water at the bottom. Don't fall in. I'm going to try using sword on zombie. Your blow knocks the zombie into a grave. Examine grave. There is a deep, empty grave in the cemetery. Several bloated rats and a zombie corpse float in a foot of filthy water at the bottom. Don't fall in. A grotesque zombie head is stuck on a root near the top of the grave. You bag the horrific trophy as proof of your deed. Cool. Inventory, sword, flask, zombie head. Alright, we'll go back west, and then we'll go south to the town. Speak with the priest. The priest drunkenly curses the undead who have defiled his church. You present him with the decapitated zombie head from your bag. Praise you, he hiccups. Perhaps Grellark's influence isn't so strong. With that, he turns his decanter over on the head and tosses into a fireplace, where it bursts into a purple flame and burns up almost instantly. I must... Oh, that's weird. Okay. Scrolling the wheel. Come on. Alright. Oh. Have you gone ahead to open the chapel? My body still aches, but... Alright, so I missed whatever that text was. Whatever. Come on. Alright. Go north. Go east. Examine chapel. Dust motes hang lazily in the shafts of colored light stretching across the chapel from peaked windows. The pews, pulpit, and everything else are covered in a fine mist. There is a very deep stone cistern near the entrance. It's filled to the brim with blessed water. There's more than enough water here to fill your tiny flask, so I'm going to go to my inventory, get drinking flask. Your flask is full of blessed water. Very good. Salmon Chapel. Look around. Alright, well I guess we gotta go north now. Mountainside, look around. You are on the craggy, wind-blasted face of a mountain. Storm clouds coil above the summit, pelting you and the sparse vegetation with torrential downpour. Far below, beyond the foothills, a wide plain stretches across the southern horizon. Garlock is here, spewing heresies. A glint between the rocks catches your eyes. Investigate glinting object. You take a rough gemstone from the rocks. Inventory. This gemstone may be valuable. Now it says here I can use the sword on Grellock, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to go back to the wizard in his tower. Woohoo! The Slayer of Grellock approaches, raw stone in hand, just as I've seen. The wizard's pointy hat bobs excitedly as he points a finger at you. Suddenly a pale orange arc of light extends from the knobby finger and draws the gemstone from your bag before you can react. The gemstone halts and hovers in the air before the wizard's nose. Essence be true, powers renew, fatty hoodoo. With that, he slaps the smooth stone of the tower. In a burst of light, the stone splits in two, and one lands in each outstretched palm of the hopping little wizard. Shard for the sword, wrap her in iron, and she'll find Grellock's black heart for you. Take the chaff, too. You'll need payment for a smith to forge the weapon. He tosses the stones down, which you leap forward to catch safely. You acknowledge the wizard. Alright. Let's head back to town, talk to the blacksmith. The blacksmith regards you gruffly and is about to dismiss you when you produce the polished gemstone from your bag. He sets his hammer aside and twirls his mustache. Right, fine stone that is, he says, admiring the faceted stone. What would you be needing then? Following your careful instructions, the smithy reforges your rusty sword with the magical shard at the center of the blade. So now we have drinking flask, refined gemstone, a magic sword. Anything else to do with the priest? No, he's just same as before. Alright, north. Grellock. Use magical sword on Grellock. When you draw your sword, Grellock lowers his great horned head and bellows laughter in your face. You grit your teeth and swing a mighty two-handed blow, the magical blade ringing clearly even amid the tumult of throaty cackling. You swing the sword so fiercely it escapes your grip and hurtles into the open maw of the monstrosity, lost from sight in the arid darkness of Grellock's throat. You step back as Grellock jerks his mouth shut and stands upright. He's still for a moment, then starts clawing at his neck. Muffled, a ringing can be heard as if from a great distance. Suddenly, Grellock's chest bursts in a fount of vicious green blood. The ringing can be heard clearly now. It looked like the word hazard for some reason. Can be heard clearly now, and as thick lifeblood oozes around the protruding tip of the magic sword, the storm clouds swirling in the park are already clearing. Grellock is defeated. The end. Thank you for playing. Well, there you go. Much shorter than the actual Zork was. I mean, Zork wasn't the only game like this. It was the game like this. Let me check the update percentage. How's that going? Still just says it's going. Yeah, it's simple, cheap serial devices. Who needs progress bars, am I right? Game over. Please play again. I mean, I would, but not much of a point. So is that all we got game-wise? I mean, 2 games, that's pretty great. Atomic Command was, I think it's pretty fun. I feel like Atomic Command's one that you could actually get pretty good at with a bit of practice. Can I look at the poster? Grellock. Alright, ammo. Does this do anything? I've got the alien blaster selected, so in theory, alien power cell should be selected, but it's not. Psh, send it back. Yeah, Joe, I'm pretty happy with having that little text-based adventure game on there. I mean, it was maybe 10 minutes of gameplay, but you know, some guy put a lot of work into that, and I feel like it really brings the presentation together. So let's see notes. Okay, I can scroll with this button over here. Oh no, the ammo box code. Did you know androids are real? You know, it's been a long time since I played Fallout 3. I should give it another go. It's been a while. It's a lot of these. Oh, this one had a picture. 10-penny tower. Where'd the picture go? It's just when it showed up initially. Okay. Yeah, I scroll away from the picture. Alright. Close enough. I wish this button... It feels plastic to me. I wish it was metal. This button was plastic on the old one too, so maybe it's not that big a deal. Well, the update window has disappeared. Not great. I don't think I closed it. Oh, fun. Alright, so for whatever reason, I guess it crashed during the update. So I'm just going to switch over to do the update on this one instead. Let's see here. Update. Map zoom options. Added item effects when they're using an aid item. Also, maybe they added the audio effects that I was saying it should have. I want an email address. Why do they always do this? All right. Oh. All right. Connect. Connecting. All right. So the current version is 1. Oh, that's not right. Restart that. I guess 1.0.6. Is that what I was seeing on here? 1.0.6. All right, yeah, and this says 1.1.3. So, all right, let's see how this upgrade goes. It's got a nice green glow to it at an angle. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna need to force a power cycle on this one. Hopefully. Erasing flash. This takes a few minutes. Hey, this actually says stuff down here. Oh, now we're back at this screen. But at least the progress bar looks like it's moving this time, so that's nice. 2V28226. So I guess that's the operating system version. And then there's the second version number for, I guess, the user interface version. Because technically they can update those separately. This guy's not shutting off. Hope she's not bricked. I mean, it just runs off of an SD card for storage. So as far as I know, worst case scenario, I just take that out and find somebody who's ripped the raw data. I probably made a backup of the raw data. I'm going to take advantage of this to go refill my water. Hey Joe, I was just thinking I should have some hold music for when I'm away. You should whip me up a hold music song. All right, so the page to do, yeah, feel like some kind maybe Girl from Empanita cover or whatever it's called, you know, or whatever musical genius is inspired to you. Alright, so the page says to hold the power button for 15 seconds to reset it. It didn't seem like it was resetting, it was still on the screen. But I just noticed that right at 15 seconds, the screen turns off and then back on. That to me is it suggesting that this screen that we're seeing here and the one that this is on here, this is like a temporary bootloader that puts it in an updating state. So that says to me this is still communicable. I just need to reconnect it and restart it. Yeah. Yeah, you got the idea, Joe. I'm going to take this over to my desktop and see if I can trigger the update again from there. Well, my desktop computer definitely recognized the device. It popped up immediately saying, Pip-Boy connected. So let's flash Pip-Boy. How many times is it going to ask for my name? Connect to Pip-Boy. This is still chugging away. I'm trying not to interrupt that. This guy, it's a work in progress. I got the page to recognize it, but it won't open the connection with it. I found a recommendation to perform a hard reset underneath the foam here. See, this is the battery storage area. In fact, this will be fun. We can pop this open and have a look at it just to see what's inside. This is a cross tip screw. Ooh, still more. Okay. Ooh. That many screws get tighter the more it comes out. All right. There we go. It's a decent sized battery. Is this glued in here? It's not. I believe somewhere under more of this is where you can get at the SD card, but I was informed there's a hole here for performing a hard reset. There is a tiny hole right here. All right, well, you know, hard reset. Yoink. Probably shouldn't yank on the cable like that, but desperate times. Let's plug this back in. Actually, I'm really glad to actually know this is here, because for a long-term display, I might actually remove this battery, like drain it to 60% and then remove it and just put it back in when the time comes to actually use the unit again. I'm always concerned about batteries just sitting around. All right. Well, she comes right back into this update interface. You know, I didn't confirm she actually turned off. Yep, screen's off. That's why my hand's having so much trouble putting in just one little jumper. Not jumper, you know. Alright, so it's still there. So let's see if we can get that reset switch to go. This is movable, which means it's removable. There we go. Alright, presumably this is the switch. Still got the... Alright. I should probably have looked up how long to hold the button. Alright, so it's coming back on, still got the update screen on it. Alright, now let's find out why. And this still says 5 minutes, so hopefully this isn't some stupid Linux incompatibility thing. I'd really rather be able to just fix this from here, but if I need to, I can reboot my desktop into Windows, so. Alright, this may just be a permission issue on Linux. I'll find out in just a moment. Alright, it's a Linux permission problem. There's a dial-out group that your user has to be a part of in order to properly read and write to the serial ports. And unfortunately, adding that permission requires me to reboot the computer, and since my stream is running off of the desktop, not quite an option. But let's see if I can There we go. That's what it's supposed to be looking like. And on the screen, it's actually, you see the taskbar over there. It's actually showing the names of files and progressing. So, a little research on my part ahead of time. We've done it, but nothing special. Just USB cabled. And then we have a nice proper progress bar on the screen showing the update. So, likely this one is stuck in the same problem. So once that other one finishes, I'll take it over and run the same update on that. So you need to add if you're on Linux, you need to add your user to the dial-out user, log out, log back in. I ended up installing Chrome on my desktop just to see if it needed proper Chrome. It was failing under Chromium, but then it failed under Chrome as well. So I'm presuming Chromium, Brave is Brave Chrome-based? Maybe Brave. I think Opera maybe supports WebSockets. Any browser that supports WebSockets should work with it. Yeah, dial-out. You can just from that name, you can tell that there's what the technical history is on this kind of a permission, huh, Joe? Man, technology. Oh, it might be done. All right. Oh, it's making the proper noises. All right, I'm just gonna take this one over and upgrade it too. Ah, yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, I like the button on this one a little bit better. Alright. Upgrade. Resetting Pip-Boy. Preparing upgrade files. Yep, already much better. Alright, it's doing its job. And it basically looks like what I was saying is correct. It's in like a kind of a special bootloader mode specifically for uploading stuff. Yeah, I know, Joe, right? You know, sometimes Linux just takes forever to get past the ancient concepts it was originally written with. I mean, when I was in college, that was already like a couple dozen years too late, but the generic printer era was still printer is on fire because nobody bothered to change it. So I'm curious about this. I mean, so while we got this open, that's upgrading over there. Maybe we poke around inside the Pip-Boys and have a look at what's got on the inside. I'll grab my screwdriver. I specifically want my electric driver. I'm an old man and I want my fancy screwdriver. Where did I put my fancy screwdriver? Like any old man, it's right here. Alright, great. Great. Yeah, that's still updating over there. So we got some big cross tips in here. Yeah, looks like that'll fit. Well, let's power her down first. This is still a really nice one. They're both great. I'm glad I've got them both. And I'm really glad that they made it so easy to just get to the guts of these things. Alright. Alright, that's the screw for cover. Don't misplace the battery. Oh, I heard the boot up noise. Looks like the other Pip-Boy upgraded it okay. Heck yeah! I mean, why? Like, you just want to see something come out of a box? I'd have taken apart my Steam controller if I didn't want to not risk breaking it. Oh, look at that! Look at that! All right, so we got some wires. Some of this bundle of wires is going here, which I'm pretty sure is for going to the USB port on the back over here. So just got to be really careful with that, not to break that. All right, what do we got here? Oh, use the thing here. So obviously, this is the SD card. It's powering everything. I'm pretty sure this ribbon cable is going to be what's running the display. Rotary encoder, everything. Look at volume, CN1, USB, clock. Everything nice and labeled. This doesn't look like a particularly complicated chip. I suspect looking at this that there's a control board on the other side of this. It's like, this is the reset button that I was pushing from the inside, which didn't seem to do any kind of factory reset. And this is the SD card powering the whole thing. What? Joe, what does that say? It looks kind of like an M, but there's like a dot above, like an I in the middle of the M. TMI? But then why is there a line in the... What is this? T? Maybe it's just TI? Whatever. I'm going to put it in my computer and clone it while we're sitting here. Give me a second to type in some Linux commands. right, what did it mount as? Disks. SMI is the name in the Linux disk utility. See, it mounted as SDA1. I remember when everything was SD. Now things are NMs, NVs. Yeah, I thought that's what it looked like to me, Joe. But it says SMI here in the interface. So once I pop it out again, I'm gonna take another look and yeah. All right. Sudo dd if dev sda. Actually, I should unmount the SD card first. There we go. Should really set up streaming. That's on my desktop when I'm doing the program stuff, but I wasn't expecting to, so it's not ready to go. Output file, home, my name, pipboy 3k 5. I think they called it a 5. .img bs equals 4 megabytes. Status progress. My fingerprint reader, dev SDA, no medium found. It's there. I wonder if when I ejected it, I just wanted to unmount it. I think it actually fully ejected and powered it down. So yeah, that looks like a T. How is that an S? Come on. All right, there's the drive. Not gonna eject it. Just gonna unmount it. All right. All right. Already finished reading. Perfect. Now we've got a backup of the SD card. Come on. There we go. So I don't see what looks like a processor in here. I mean, it's got to be right here. This is all these trace terminations right here. That's got to be connecting to some kind of control circuit. I see some screws. This bit is too big. Yeah, that one fits. Always use the right bit. Remember, with cross tip and flat tip, it's not a question of if it will strip, it's when it will strip. So you gotta baby these things so that they don't die before you want them to, or prematurely, or however you want to describe it. This is going to get in the way. I'm not seeing it. Pretty firm right here for some reason. I am hesitant to force anything on this. Especially just, no, it's not. I think it might be glued in place. I'm not going to mess with that. Besides, this is the old one. We want to see the inside of the new one. This is yesterday's Enterprise. All right. It's in there. Get this SD card in here. Now, I think it might be some kind of ESP home powering this thing. It doesn't seem like it's drastic custom computing hardware. Based on the error messages I was Googling, that is. Just it seems like the same kinds of error messages you get from that. All right, what am I? Oh, it's the, there we go. It's just the reset port. All right. long ones for the battery. Alrighty, ready. Yeah, like that. Well, I hear her powering up already. That's good enough for me. Wires. Don't want the wires getting pinched in the door. Come on. Get resistance on the top. I just don't want to squish anything. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Oh, there we go. Yeah, nice and clean now. Here she is, nice and neat. All right. Just pop on. Come on, there we go. There we go. Great design, working great. Look at those coordinates. Where am I? Who the hell knows? All right. Pop that sucker down. Get the other one all nice and updated. First off, I want to see if I'm right about that update. It said it added effects when choosing healing items. So, items. Aid. Beer. What happened? Drinking noise. Drinking noise. Ah, the crunchy noise. Nice. Nuka-Cola. Yeah, that's the sound that I expected. Fantastic. Already they're improving. Well, they're gonna have to patch that. The Nuka-Cola Quantum. The Nuka-Cola Quantum's just got the regular noise. Come on, guys. What is this, amateur hour? Like my focusing job? Alright, let's power it down. Let's see what's inside this sucker. Holding the power button here. Shut on down. Alright, let's open her up. Let's get these guts. Alright, so we've got this hinge here. Now, this time there is not a USB port on the back, so there's no wiring running here. So we got some hex heads here. Are these the same as this? It's a little wiggly, but you could open that. You could remove that with that. But I'm an old man who doesn't want to burn out his wrists. So T10H is the head that I am using right now. All right. Look at that. Oh, nice clean removal. Don't have to worry about wires running through there. And I guess most importantly, if I want to, I can just lay this flat now. But that's not what I'm doing. I am wishing that I had some kind of wishing that I had some kind of arm that I do have for putting this camera on. What did I do with it? It's over there. Why am I not using this arm? Partly because this is a nice table and I don't want to damage it. Mostly because it's a nice table and I don't want to damage it. Plus it's got, that's right, this stupid ridge. Let me see what I can do. Yeah, that's why I'm not using that arm, because I can't clamp it to the table effectively. Right. I'll figure that out someday. Whatever. Alright, so inside here, I'm assuming. I need to move some stuff. I'm just bumping everything with my arm. Alright, I'm assuming this is going to be another pull-out piece of foam. So far. Oh, somebody wants to swing by to grab their towels. So I need to get ready for that. I'll be right back. Oh, right. So the foam, it feels a lot like the one in the other one. This is, I'm realizing now holding it, how much larger, how much longer the whole thing is than the other one. Oh, and of course the battery door is a cross tip. There we go. Oh, this, I like this. The other one you saw I had to use a screwdriver to pry it out. This just has a little thing right there. Huh. Is this the same battery? It's only got 2 connectors. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's unplug the connector. This looks like a really similar battery. I'd have to review the image. I mean, you could, if you rewind, you can see the other one. Here's this one here. They're not the same in terms of the wiring. There were 3 cords on the other one. There's only 2 on this one. I'm not sure why. This would indicate to me that it doesn't have any kind of data communication. Usually a 3-wire setup, it means that there's some kind of communication. So it might be actually just that the other battery pack maybe has some charging hardware built in, and maybe this one doesn't, and the charging hardware is instead inside the motherboard. Who knows? Not me. I really like the feel of this. There's a screw down there. This is plastic, but like to the touch, it's very, very close feeling to the finish on the metal parts. I like that. So on this inside here, we've actually got a Robco logo. So it says 3.7 volt LiPo cell, which matches up. That says 3.7 volts. Now, it might also be that they did this so that you could replace the battery more easily. If it's a simpler battery, I don't know. I mean, I like repairability. It says, attention, no user serviceable parts inside. This has front embossed here in the plastic. Remember, your Pip-Boy is not a toy. Treat it with care. You know, I like how this latch feels. Your Pip-Boy is not a toy. Treat it with care and regularly charge it to ensure its operation for this and future Vault Dwellers' enjoyments. Robco Industries, manufactured under license. The wand company. Oh, I see. Okay, it's a sticker. There's a PCB board under here. So they're actively warning you off. But as you can see from this right here, there's the SD card is just immediately able to be accessed here. Does it click? Oh, it's a clicker. Yes. I thought it was going to be another pressure one, but no, it's a clicker. All right, come on. Yeah. Okay, it's nice that it's a clicker, but it could have been easier. Come on. It really doesn't want to come out. So, Swiss Army knife time. Come on. Why go through all this trouble and then make it so difficult to pull it out? There we go. Well, that's always reassuring. A nice blank, no label SD card. We do know it's made in China. No, made in Taiwan. There you go. I'll pop this in the computer. We'll see what it is. It's an SD card. Who knew? Oh, right. Looks like another 256 gig card. The other card was 256 gigs, but that was actually labeled properly. All right. And dev SDA again. Running DD to create an image. All right. There's one screw here so far. I don't see more so far. Oh, there's screws on the... Okay, so we've got screws on the front. All right. No user serviceable parts inside. Yep. That was never the problem. We want to know what's in here. And really, like, this is actually kind of clever. Rather than hiding the screws underneath, like with this one, with the old one, it's got such a clean finish to it. Like they can't have the screws showing. But this one, since it's got this aesthetic to it, just letting the screws be right on the surface, just part of how it looks. Okay. One of them is different. The top left one is using this bolt. All right. I think that was almost all the cross tips. There's one small one here. Is that going to fit that? Yeah, that fits perfect. All right. Now these two are hexes. Let's see if... Not the right size. Not the same size as the one that the... What was it? The screw cover was using? Or whatever it was using. This does fit this, though. Put these over here to try to remember that these were the lower left parts. All right. Don't think I see more screws on the front. There's still this one here. If this is a screw, the thing is this looks like it's painted over, which makes me think that it's not a screw. If it isn't, then what is it? Well, let's see if we loosened anything by taking off those front screws. There's a little bit of loosening here. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, just took a little finessing, but she's pulling up. And looks like it's got a little bit of. So the part where this is feels like where the thing that kind of looked like a screw is moving. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so the plastic part has the headphone jack and the upper right hand rotary encoder. All right, there we go. That's right, Joe. I'm not a user. Maybe I fight for the users. I don't know. Hey, Julia.
Where are you?
I'm in the basement. I think your laundry should still be in the dryer.
Okay.
I'm in here streaming, taking apart a Pip-Boy.
Pip-Boy.
A Pip-Boy. Right. You've watched Fallout, right?
Fun.
This is my old one. The
Oh
new
my
one just came
gosh.
out. So I'm doing a disassembly, taking it apart, seeing what's in the inside.
This was in the small strip of grass?
Yeah, I
Is
left it out
or-
for the junkers.
Oh, got you. I'll
Yeah.
put it back.
Okay, thanks.
Junkers.
All right, so 8 ohm, 2 watt. My lightsaber has a higher wattage speaker, but whatever. Yeah, I will say the sound is pretty tinny coming out of this, so this would be, if someone was going to try doing some upgrades, this is probably where I'd start. Let's make sure that the impedances don't cause a problem. Now I'm seeing what looks like glue, so I'm not going to be pushing stuff too hard. This is the rotary encoder for the lower left knob. This is the light. So
You know what's wild?
what's up?
These still smell like the laundry detergent Chavez uses.
Does it? Maybe you need to do it again.
All of the things I read said to use 2 cups of vinegar, and I was like, oh, that just doesn't make me feel comfortable. I probably should have listened.
Well, you could give it another go if you want.
Think so?
I don't see why not. All the stuff I saw about vinegar being corrosive, it's like a long-term use thing. So just doing it every once in a while shouldn't be too bad. Plus, if you break it, you give me an excuse to open it up. So this is probably the connector for the screen. The SD card slot here from the inside, the nice clicky kind. The other side of the front wheel. So rotary encoder to the side. All right, this looks, it says here that this isn't user serviceable. This seems like it could be pretty user serviceable. Like if some of this broke, all you have to do is get replacement chips and then swap them right in. It doesn't look like it's that difficult. We got it. Well, isn't that interesting? So the power switch over here isn't directly above the switch contact right here. It's like a lever pushing this bit of plastic down into it. I wonder why. So this is those glowy bits that are on the bottom, and this is the rad indicator. That's just a still picture. And it looks like both of them are being powered by LEDs on the board and little acrylic channels coming over to the side. Here's where the battery hookup is. I assume that's some kind of power smoothing? I don't know. I don't know what a big capacitor there would be for. We've got, there we go, these two are the front bundle. So both of these seem like they're going, oh, okay, one of these is going to be for the rotary encoder, one's for the USB. In fact, based on this label, this cable is for the USB, and this is for the rotary encoder. And this is for the headphone slash antenna jack. There we go, we got that detached. Just slip that over there. Man, focus is hard. Alright. That's pretty decent. Alright, all that's on there. I'm kind of inclined to see if we can pop off the actual board and see the other side. We got some cross-tip screws here. Yeah, fortunately, it seems they're using all the same size screws.
Give it another go.
All right. All right, I think that's all the black screws. And are we? No, there's still one more. Oh, this one comes loose pretty immediately. All right. I'm going to carefully I need to look at that closer. There we go. All right. Sometimes these little flip up guys can be difficult with that. Bet you anything that's the screen connector.
Okay, I'll check in with you later.
Okay, yeah. Do you want me to do anything to it in the interim, or?
Nah.
All right.
I'm back with baking soda, unless you guys have baking soda.
We probably do, but I don't know where it is. Last time I remember seeing it was like in the freezer, so it might just be full of smells.
Alright, cool. Alright, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Come on.
You want the front door closed?
Nah, leave it open. All right, there we go. Oh, that should be everything disconnected. Here we go. Yeah, we got the board off. Look at that. All right. So, our buttons here. Look like a single piece cast flexing around the lever on the bottom. In fact, that's me pushing them, not seeing much. This is gonna be the screen. Screens are a whole thing, so I'm not gonna bother removing that. Here's the whole, yeah. So this whole thing appears to be a solid piece of metal. This is a piece of plastic on top here. This is metal. This is metal. Oh, I'm gonna have to pay attention to this. There's some kind of pressure screw, not screw, spring here that is definitely gonna have to be reattached carefully to make sure that it works properly. That's the inside speaker. Like I said, just the front rotary encoder there. And the screen that I am not going to muck with. And here's the board. We've seen this side. Let's flip it over. Ooh, here's our individual front switches. Let's see if there's a little labeling on the surface here. What's it say? Switch 4, switch 5, switch 6. Oh, those are empty mounting pads. 7, 8, and 9 up on top here. These are empty pads for more switches. What would they have wanted to do with that? Like, why would there be a place on the board for those? Now I'm really curious. Very curious. Anyway, if we want to see how this one works, see, here's the rotary encoder right here. So you spin this, and it, if I remember right, basically every time it clicks, or whatever the unit of travel is, it switches the electrical signal between the front and the back one. Come on, focus. and then just it watches for those on-offs, and by watching the pattern of them, it can tell which way it's going. And this is falling out. All right, but you can also see underneath here that there's basically just a little switch right under there, just like these ones over here. So when you push it, it's just pushing it down against that switch down there. So this is going to be our brains of everything. Yeah, well, the central computing unit. All kinds of resistors. I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to know whatever is going on here. Yeah, it could be a similar board, Joe, but this rotary encoder right here, it doesn't have this on the old one, and this is such a big structural part of it. And on top of that, the other one doesn't have 3 buttons here. So Joe is proposing that it could be that it's the same circuit board, but there's two issues with that. First off, like I said, there's no 3 buttons here on the bottom to correspond to these. Also, the board is bigger than the old unit altogether, so it's just strange. Clearly, these were on here because at some point they thought there would be a need for switches there. Stuff survives the intermediate designs all the time. I'm just wondering like what it would have been. Maybe I'll send them an email about that and ask, because I'm very curious. Whatever that might have been. There's also an empty pad here for something. It says U6 on it. So the WAN company, SAP 001 version 1.0b. So already there's at least one revision on this. Yeah, I don't know. Still, cool stuff. Let's see if we can identify the circuit. Not the circuit, the board here. STM32F407V GT or 6T. It's one of the GT for sure. There you go. So STM32s. This is a pretty common chip that you find in a lot of things, or at least various generations of it. Oh, I think this is the light for one of the things. I'm pretty sure that I think this is an LED. They're a really chunky resistor, and I'm just wrong. No, this is the LED. That's the LED. That's just a chunky resistor. See, I told you. I know enough to be dangerous and to feel like I can take this apart and put it back together safely. But I do not know enough to actually build one. I mean, give me enough time, I'll figure it out. But who doesn't love a little spinny? All right, now the real challenge. Let's see if we can put this sucker back together. You know, I'm going to do it upside down. This kind of ruins the view. All right, got the rotary encoder on this side. Slip it under the ribbon cable. And the rotary encoder fell out. So now I get to do that again. So the rotary encoder's got a little, it's a hex head, it looks like, and that just slips in. Okay, the knob has a hex head, and that slips into the rotary encoder. All right. There we go. All right. Plug that in. Yeah, I'm gonna put all the screws back in the main board first. Hold it nice and still. I mean, it's a possibility, Joe. Maybe there was a further back revision before this or that one that did have those buttons slots used for something. I mean, who knows how far it goes. Ooh, red. You know, Ron, I knew you were gonna come visit this weekend, and I knew Supergirl was coming out this weekend, and I had yet to successfully connect the data points. If you're down for it, I'm gonna say yes. But I don't think you're actually watching the stream. So I think I'll actually have to text you back. Blame. Alright. Alright, what else is there? A screw hole. There's one over here. Gosh, it'd be nice to have like a little stand or something to hold this on. Alright, so we got one long screw left. It's not that. It was that. Alright, board's back in. I'm just getting connectors finagled back into place. Some poor person, probably in some underpaid area. I don't know where they manufacture the one company's replicas, but I went through wherever it was, they went through all this work putting it together just for me to just take it apart as soon as it gets here. Could have saved everyone a lot of time and money if they just shipped it to me as a box of parts. I don't even need instructions. I'll figure it out. Alright. Is this reversible? It is not. So, shape-wise, I think it makes sense that it goes in. This way. But it doesn't. There's little grooves on the top here. You can see them. So that's got to go on like that. All right, that's on there. All right. Now to figure out how this was put together. So I'm fairly confident that this spring just compresses this way. See, there's the other end here. I'm fairly certain that just lies flat, compresses like this against the above part, and then pushes it back down. All right, well, let's get our other cords plugged in here. Come on, there we go. What is this part? The headphone jack. The least part I need the least. Alright, this is for one of the rotary encoders. And this is for the USB jack in the back. That's a good point, Joe. They may be playing 3D chess and they're designing a chip for future Pip-Boys. There are other Pip-Boys with the 3-button front design. I think the one from Fallout 1 and 2, the ones from 1 and 2 but had yeah, I'd have to look at them. It's been a long time since I looked at them, but that's actually a really good point. They might be thinking way ahead of the rest of us and including extra spots for switches before they need them. All right. Oh, well, yeah. All right, yeah, that's okay. That's slipping on nice. Ooh, smooth. All right, so now that we've taken it apart, we definitely know there are no, other than for the cover for the battery, there's no rear screws that are holding this together. All the screws are on the front, making the front of the screws on the front not just decorative. These are functional screws, which frankly is really cool to me. I really like that as a concept. Let's see if I can show putting these screws in a little bit better. Ooh, I didn't like how that was slipping. like I said, use the right cross tip head lest you destroy your cross tip. So all these cross tip screws, they've got I forget what it's called, but this little angled neck, and the holes for them all have little angled holes. So pretty easy to tell which ones are for which. All right, just one more. Oh, what were you for? All right. All right. Those are for the inside screws. These are both not identical. A cool thing if you, well, it's not going in, so it must be for this one. I was going to say, cool things like even if I put the wrong screw in the wrong place, all just adds to the look of it. It just makes it more weathered and lived in. Alright, and then I think this little screw, if I remember right, it was like, it's right here. But I'm not sure how functional this one actually is. Don't like that skipping. Alright, I think we got her all back together. So let's eject the SD card, which I made my rip of. I cloned to my computer. Calling it a rips, probably not a good nomenclature. Alright. Is that going in right? Yeah, pretty much flush against the ground. It works. Alright. Click, click. There she's in. Alright. Let's plug in the battery and see if she boots. Well, we got a Pip-Boy logo. Yeah. Now, this is a little disappointing to me just because I know the version number it told me out there. Loader number is right, but that 5.0, that's just a number. It's kind of cool when those numbers are actually functional and represent the actual internal software versions being used, but they did such a great job on this. It's really just nonsense complaining I'm doing right now. It's so great. You couldn't just have a different number that I know is important? Doesn't that matter? There's only one layer with the foam this time, I'm just realizing. The other one had that black shell on top of all this, but this one it's just this layer of foam, which I imagine probably drastically simplifies things. And there's guys like me who puts the foam in backwards. Yeah, Joe, we're going to go see Supergirl probably on Saturday. Countersink. Yeah, those are countersunk screws. That's what they call that. Yeah, Joe, we're going to go see Supergirl on Saturday. Message me if you want to get in on that or anything. All right. Ooh. It's got a nice weight to it. I really like that. I mean, I'm one of the first guys to complain when companies will just add a rock or something on the inside of something just to make it seem heavier. But I mean, it's undeniable the sensation is appealing. It's just disappointing when that sensation is being just a rock inside of something instead of, you know, reacting to it being actual metal on the inside. All right. There we go. Oh, there we go. Come on, what's going on here? I wonder if I misaligned it. This is not latching onto this bit right here, and I don't know what the cause of that is. Could be the foam. It could be that I've messed up the alignment of this here. These also seem like countersunk screws, so I don't see how you could get it in the wrong alignment. They just go in. Let's give it a little extra tightening just in case. That feels like just before. Oh, okay. Something's going on here. There's a gap right here that wasn't there before. So that's going to be why that's not working right. Alright, I gotta figure that out. Can't just not let that work. So, alright, let's look at the shapes here, see what we can figure out. Alright, well, let's power it down first. Pew! Alright, I technically don't have to take that off. Alright, so what's going on? What's not lining up here? That was wrong screwdriver. So we gotta take everything apart again. Why take apart a thing once on a stream when you could take it apart twice? Alright, let's see what's going on here. Well, I can't say what I did, but having removed the screw and just take this, just flexed a little bit, it's in there now. So I am going to carefully reapply screws. And by carefully, I mean forget that this is not magnetic and drop it. What's in there? It's resisting, that means it's at the wrong angle, so gotta be careful. Alright, still good. Still good. Still good. I'll do these bottom quarter ones first. This isn't flexing right now. Alright. So maybe I had the spring like maybe I had it figured out wrong, and where I put it was causing it to not close correctly. But right now, this is the hinge is basically not returning. You see, it's just going there, not returning. So let's loosen this up again. All right, I did not take out the battery this time. I was curious if it would be necessary. Yeah, I don't see why it would be necessary. It basically just goes straight through. But in the interest of electrical safety, take it out. All right. All right. Let's bring this back down. Make sure these wires are hooked okay. There we go. Flush. So I'm not sure what about it got unhooked before, but she be hooked now. So this is interesting that there's this plug here. So like normally you just have screws like from the front and they just apply pressure by pulling things in, but this one appears to have a screw right here that isn't for pulling, but just kind of seems like it's just acting as like a pin to hold the case in place here. Let's see if I can actually get it in there. It needs to have some pressure on it to work, it seems. In fact, it's not going in for some reason, so I'm actually going to save that for last. Let's put some regular screws around it. You can see the body just zooping right up. I'm doing these first because I'm thinking that the hole for this being in exactly the right place maybe requires the other screws to have pulled the case together first. And then we put that in this one last kind of structural support, and I was using the wrong cross tip again. And look at that, look at that. We got that gap again. We got that gap again. Alright, so what's the origin on this gap? Use the right driver. Alright. So it's sitting flush right now, and we have springiness. Let's put in one screw. And now we've got a little bit of a gap. I put in this other screw. More gap. It still moves okay, but we have more gap. Alright, so I need to investigate that. What there could be causing a gap? And actually you should also ask, should or shouldn't there be a gap? It may just be that that gap is part of things and it's not latching for some other reason. that's not latching there anyway, so I think this is all supposed to tuck deeper into this somehow. So let's figure that out. Let's look at the shapes and see where we go. Not really a lot of where for it to go. But yeah, you can see that. So this is the nub. It slides into the horizontal screw down here, holding this in place. So one would think if you have it in the right place, you can't screw it up then. Alright, so that time I got it in. It's feeling a lot better. And there it latches. Okay. Well, we've got that the screw hole lined up as desired. So let's see if we can just lock it in place. Well, it's where we want it to be. And that's going in so much easier than it was before. So I think that may have been it. Alright. Also possible that I am over tightening these top screws. So I'm actually releasing, giving it a little less force. There we go, no gap. This is sticking a bit. I may have mucked up the mechanism. Just maybe tighten something up, but hardly the end of the world. Hardly. I mean, what device gets taken apart and doesn't come back with some weird little mechanical movement? They literally put a warning on the inside that told me not to do this, and I did it anyway. Because that's just how it goes. So we killed my Nintendo. Took forever to... We got a Nintendo well after the Super Nintendo existed. My parents were real sticklers about some of that stuff. And, there's not really much more to it. Despite that, I still couldn't stop myself from taking that sucker apart. Alright. Just power it up. Looks like we're pretty good. Just got to get this 2 more little screws. Alright. Baby screw. Little bit of screw. Alright. As long as it latches, I'm going to be happy. Yep, it latches. Great. Right. And hopefully I figure out exactly what is mucking with the springiness of it. I'm sure I've over-tightened something somewhere, because that's how it goes. Alright, these are the hexen ones. Okay. Alright. There we go. And now it's latching. I'll figure out why it's not springy. But that's fine. It's still perfectly usable for me. Alright. Alright. Time to wrap this up. Put the screwdriver in the stand. Let's just do one last fit. I find it easier to, rather than deal with the pinching skin, just get it on further down the arm and then really squeeze it on up there. There we go. Boop, boop. I mean, that's pretty good. Okay, the Pip-Boys are so impractical. They're so heavy, they're so lopsided on your arms, but they're so cool. They, as the young people say, they have a vibe to them. This one. Oh, now I can actually set my name. Now that we know this way. Alright. This is the most ridiculous keyboard I think ever created. No, okay, come on. Your enter key literally will move you downwards. Alright. Shift. M. A. They could have just done a letter wheel. It would have been so much simpler. But they didn't. Because this would be exactly how a real Pip-Boy would be. Alright, there's my name. And my karma is so low. If I hit the status screen, shouldn't I see something about my karma? My XP is max. That's cool. Let's see here. Special skills. So I bumped me up to level 30. 6 and 7s. I'm going to do it. Those are good averages. Like if you didn't specialize in one particular thing. I wanna know if there's ways to change what's on here, like have your own custom inventory or something like that, or change something about the information on it. Though the rads, the the other one had, oh there it is. You see the other one had a rad detector, and you could actually nudge it somehow. This doesn't seem to be the case here. Yeah, effects. So I equipped the power armor equipment from the item menu, and these are the status effects from the power armor. So that's cool. It actually checks what it is that you equipped and puts it there. I mean, which makes it really good for a cosplay or something like that. You know, this would make a lot of sense for that. Is it version 1.1.3? Oh my, that's cool. This is the rotation sensors. Let me switch back to the close-up camera. I just realized this. All right. Oh, how do I twist my arm like this? All right. See this little cube here? As I rotate my arm, the cube is rotating along with it. So that is actually showing the gyro sensor on the inside. And that raises the question, why is there a gyro sensor in here? We didn't see anything. Yeah, I need some rat away, yeah. I didn't see anything that had anything to do with a rotation sensor, so I'm not sure what the point of that is. Battery, 3.95. I think that's, is that the voltage? Wasn't it 3.7? Well, okay, it's probably at 3.7. These 3.7 batteries, like their actual output voltage is usually a little higher or lower. So, all right, USB voltage. There we go. See, charging. That's fun. SD card usage, 18%. Plenty of room. So 43% memory usage. I doubt there's 6 gigabytes of memory, so I gotta guess that that's 6.3 megabytes it's saying that it has. Core temperatures, system clock. I mean, they probably don't need to, that probably doesn't change in any particular way, but I mean, it's cool. Let's turn that cube upside down. Yeah, and you can see those lines. I'm pretty sure those lines are historical. See, that's me going up and down. And I'll go whoop, whoop. And there's the wobble on the other lines. So yeah, there's a gyroscope in here. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's so that people can like come up with other programming for it or something. Yeah, cover a lot. Yeah, just my brother once built a Vault Tech outfit for Halloween once. He was from the Vault that was like, it was a joke Vault. It was just like one guy in a box of hand puppets, and so that was his outfit. He was the Vault, had the Vault suit and just a bunch of hand puppets. It was pretty great. So yeah, that's it. I don't understand what the gyro sensor is for. I'm gonna do some Googling, see what I can figure out. Holding this for presentation is super annoying on the arm, so I'm just gonna pop it out. And there's the claw. And the Pip-Boy. So I suppose that's it. Joe, one of these days you're gonna land me in prison. Alright. Gonna get a snapshot for the final thumbnail. That's that. Thanks for watching. Mostly just Joe. Thanks, Joe. I know sometimes my in-laws tune in too, but they don't chat. So I don't know. That's that. See y'all next time.